I just stopped to pick something up from an elderly lady in our neighborhood whom I happen to know, and she asked if I could help her make some risers for her couch. So I want to show you what I'm going to do that. It's going to be a real stepdad job here, meaning quickly, but what she's asking for is, like down here on the couch of hers, she needs her couch raised, which I did with ours a while ago. And so I'm going to try to whip some together for her, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. When you get older, sometimes it's harder to get up and down from a couch. And so a raised seat or a higher seat or couch or toilet makes it easier for you to get up and down. Here's what I'm planning on doing. Just this much of a difference will help you get up off a couch easier. So here's the foot of what our old couch used to have. I fixed it differently. I'm going to do like I said, kind of a jury rig deal here. I've got a 4x4, and you can see that if I can do it that much, it gets it that much higher, and that will make a difference for her and for whoever else sits on the couch to get it off the couch. If I just take these and put these under there, I did this on my mom's couch years ago, and the problem was when you sat on it, if you went sideways on the couch, these would roll and it would land on its feet again. So I need to make it more stable. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. And this is a real quick and dirty, but I'm just going to cut some blocks like this. I'm going to counterbore with this drill bit some holes that the feet of the couch can go into, and I'm going to screw on a 2x4 like that so that it will stop it from rolling. It won't be able to tip this way or that way because it'll have leverage. I'll probably cut this in about half because it doesn't need to be that long, but just to stop it. So that's my thought process here. So for this project, I'm just using scrap wood that I've got out here in the garage. I've got some 4x4 and old pieces of 2x4 that I've got. I've got screws on hand, got the drill bit and the chop saw over here. Don't forget, always use your safety glasses. There we go. Always have safety glasses when you're using saws, drills, especially saws, but drills too, and any other power tools. One thing I want to show you on this is this type of a drill bit. When you're using a drill, you usually have smaller drill bits like this that can go right in the chuck. In this case, we need to drill a hole that is big enough to be a counterbore for this, and this one is. If you look at those diameters, this diameter is slightly bigger than that. I think this is about the same size as the foot on her couch. I don't have it with me, but I think that's about it. So I'm going to do a counterbore with this drill bit. These drill bits are really made for mounting doors. So they're a larger diameter and it cuts a hole, but you need a pilot drill bit to hold it straight. So that's what this one does in the middle. And you can take that off and switch it from one of these to the other by using the wrench on the back, loosen this. So clamp on that, then you can use this and break it loose. There, now with that in there, I can use this and turn it relative to that, and that will break the nut free on the back. And this centerpiece is the anchoring drill bit that goes through and holds it straight. This will go through first. If you just had one of these without a center drill bit, then it jumps all around when you start trying to cut into the wood. So this is the pilot drill bit that holds it in position, and then you can drill the hole through after that. So this will be the place where this can go and it won't fall off for the couch when the foot of her couch sits there. Two more. So we're just now where I did the counterbore. Because we're not drilling all the way through, I've got to try to get these as level as I can. Okay, here's the last one. This is a lot bigger, it's hard to get down in there, so the first one I do is this way. And I've kind of got it by the corner because that's where I'm anticipating the foot of the couch to be. If I pry on this side, I got to be careful because I could pop this wood loose, and I don't want to do that. I want to get the wood that's in the center. And all we're trying to do is get a recessed area here so that the foot of the couch won't slide off the block. Now the last thing we're going to do is sand it, because this is all just leftover wood. So we've got a belt sander here. I'm going to run these over the belt sander. I've got a pack of replacement belts because the last one wore out. One thing about sandpaper is rough. If you put your finger on it, it's rough. That's what it does, is it scrapes down the side. But there's different grades and different types. This happens to be 50 and 80 and 120. And what that means is grains per inch. So if you had a square inch, it would have 50 grains. Well, that means the grains are bigger, so it's rougher. This is the roughest piece. 80 for this packet is the next one, and then 120 is the one on the inside. How this one's rougher than that one, that's rougher than that one. So this is fine. If you're doing real fine sanding, you'd go on this size. We're just going to do a rough pass on the higher one, on the 50 grain. So I've got to put this on here. Okay, so with the sander, some things to be concerned about with any moving equipment. Right now it's pinch points. So if I had things here, then that's a pinch point where I'd get my fingers in. This is not the most dangerous piece of equipment. Having said that, you've got moving parts and you got to be careful. So all we're doing is sanding the rough spots down so that when you grab it, you're not going to get splinters. One thing when you're sanding is you want to sand generally with the grain. If you go against the grain, you're more at risk of peeling layers of wood more than just sanding with it. In this case, that very moment, there was an edge piece here there's a split because there's a knot that goes through the wood here, and it just took a chunk of wood out. It's not going to matter for what we're doing. Again, this is structural, and that's not that big of a deal. But as I sand this, rather than go this way, I'm going to go this way because it'll sand with the grain. When you're handling wood like this, you tend to grab on the sides. That's where you're going to get the splinters. Okay, so one thing to point out as I was going through this, we put screws in this side. They didn't seat all the way, which is less than ideal. But anytime you've got wood or screws in wood and you're sanding, you gotta be careful. You don't want to do that, basically. That'll tear up the belt, and you're not sanding the metal. You need to sand the wood. So you wouldn't sand a surface that has metal in it. Okay, so this is the couch. We've got these counterbore holes. This one will go in the back, this one will go in the front, and there's a set like that on the other side too. All right, Jacob, let's give it the test now.
You go first.
Oh, it's higher.
Yeah?
I guess it worked.
It feels pretty stable.
All right, stepsons, that was a quick video to just show you a couple things about tools, about woodworking, but there's some deeper lessons in this one. It was an opportunity to do something for someone that needed something. A lady in our neighborhood, she didn't want to be on the camera, and that's just fine. But that not only serves them, but that's going to help you feel better about yourself too. So when you have opportunities to do something for someone else, don't think of it as an imposition. Think of it as an opportunity. All right, hopefully you learned a couple things about some of the tools and about some of the processes as well. And always those two messages. You can succeed even though you don't have a dad in your daily life. And always remember, your stepdad loves you. I'll see you on the next video. This is a real redneck job. We'll call it a redneck job because that's really quick and dirty.
We've definitely never built anything wrong before.
No, look at that table over there. We built back when you were how old?
Oh,
the white table, and we still use it. We are going to clean up. You're never done until you've cleaned up.
Unless you're me.
Unless you're Jacob, then you're never done until Dad cleans up. Oh.
Now we're going.
Now we're going. Okay. This and break it loose. Works better when you're not trying to hold it up for the camera.